Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Campus Care Ed Talks. I am Nandini Upadhyay, your host for the show. Would like to welcome you all. So let me tell you a bit about Ed Talks. So Ed Talk is a platform where educators or leaders like you come on board and express their viewpoints on society and education. So once again, thank you to each and every educator for taking out their time and being for this panel discussion. So, our topic for discussion is the impact of technology on education future. And to express their viewpoints on the same, we have with us the very first Mr. Alok Sir, who is the principal of RNS World School, Jhansi. And he is the moderator of the show. So, welcome to Alok Sir. Next, we have with us Aditi Mishra ma'am, who is the Director Principal of GPS Sector 45, Gurugram. Welcome, Aditi ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Nandini.
Next, we have with us Miss Preeti Sharma ma'am, who is the academic in charge of Jagran Public School, Lucknow. Welcome, Preeti ma'am.
Hello. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you.
We have with us Mr. Manohar Pandey sir, who is the principal of Vimla Pandey Memorial Gyan Niketan School, Jharkhand. Welcome, Manohar sir. Next, we have with us Dr. Anup Kumar sir, who is the principal of Sri Ram Convent School, Varanasi. Welcome, Anup sir.
Yeah, good evening and thank you, Nandini.
Next, we have with us Miss Ruchi Gupta ma'am, who is the principal of New Rainbow Public School, Ghaziabad. Welcome, Ruchi ma'am.
Good evening and thank you.
Next, we have with us Mr. Soman sir, who is the principal of Guru Gobind Singh Public School, Bokaro. Welcome, sir.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Next, we have with us Dr. Vishal sir, who is the director of Rosary School, Rajkot. Welcome, Vishal sir.
नमस्कार धन्यवाद
And last, we have with us Dipti ma'am, who is the executive director of Hari Shri Vidya Nidhi, Trishur. Welcome, Dipti ma'am.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be here.
So, a very warm welcome to all the educators once again, and so good to have you here today for this panel discussion. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time. So, I give over the session to Alok sir, as he's the moderator. Over to Alok sir. Alok sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for an onerous and a Herculean task, not less than climbing a Mount Everest, and I'm sure without the oxygen mask. But nevertheless, first and the foremost, I would like to apologize to each and every one for being slightly late, because as we all understand, the principals have become not merely a multifaceted personality, but also multitasking. So we had something going against the school children are very difficult to handle. So I was being summoned by a district magistrate, and from Orai, I'm just reaching from Orai, which is 120 kilometers towards Kanpur. I've just reached, so my apologies to each and everyone for joining slightly late. I would like to add up my voice along with Ma'am Nandini to welcome each and everyone on board. And I'm sure we'll have a very enriching experience. I can see I've learned about so many very, very well educated and eminent personality in the world of education who have actually not left any stone unturned and established many, many milestones in their career graph. So, welcome on board once again. I would just like to submit and with greatest level of humility would like to request each and everyone, though it is again not very much possible for the principals and for the directors to limit themselves for 3 to 4 minutes, not beyond that. But as and when we are being positioned on the podium and the microphone is given and we have all the gyan jo hame baantna hota hai, but my humble request, let's limit ourselves between 3 to 4 minutes. And in case we are not onto the speaking platform, I'll request everyone to please switch off their mics, remain in mute, so that the clarity of the voice of the speaker is pretty much there, not only for us, for the another, millions of people who have joined us live and watching us and listening to our views. With this, let me cut short. So, how is technology expected to transform the traditional classroom environment in future? For this, I would first like to invite Soman Chakrabarti.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to be here. Thank you, Alok, sir. It's okay. I can understand that about the timing. No problem. I hope I am audible. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible. Someone said you're audible.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So you see that transformation as far as technology is concerned, that hello. Hello.
Sir, please carry on, sir. You're audible to us, sir. Please carry on.
Yeah. The education means, the technology has really transformed us. You starting from P on technology. If you see now, different technologies have come into the picture, whether it is AR, VR, or if you see the virtual tours of the different things, as well as the students, they go for social media also with the help of classroom teaching, because you can understand whatever the activities are going on, we are putting into the different social media, and then we can share with the students. And whatever the classroom situations are there nowadays, you see whether the teachers are using the PPT with the multimedia. So naturally, audio and video, that also plays an important role. So here the transformation is definitely there. Now teachers, they are using chalk and talk less and technology more. If you see the different kinds of quiz activities, even the quiz activities are also being performed with the help of technology. So I believe that classroom situation nowadays transforming into a reality as far as technology is concerned, and students are understanding also in a better way. We have taken nowadays, we are going to take some feedback also, and with the help of feedback we can understand that students are learning in a better manner also. So therefore technology in the classroom is really useful, and we must try to adapt in a massive way, I can say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting the PowerPoint presentation. You were talking of virtual reality. You, in fact, also laid a lot of emphasis on the social media and the activities that we can actually do it with the help of VR. It's been very rightly said from the Benjamin Franklin, tell me, I forget, teach me, and I may remember, involve me, and I learn it by heart. So thank you
Very
so
true.
much, sir. You were very sweet. You were very brief. You were up to the point, Shri Chakraborty. Thank you so much. With this, let me extend a very warm reception and welcome to add voice to the views of the other panelists. I'm making a humble request to Dr. Vishal Varias, sir, on the same topic.
Thank you, sir. I will not go much into the history, but I will be very to the point. Technology has entered almost in every industry. Until the technology has entered into the field of education, the latest or the last it has entered in the field of education. So when I say enter the field of education, there are different areas. Technology first influenced only the administrative side of education. Like we started maintaining records online or on computers. We started maintaining attendance. We started making result sheets. So technology earlier was just limited to the concept of the administrative side, maintaining of records. Then came an era where technology entered into the content. We started making content using technology, like as Sir said, PPT content is there, audio content is there, video content is there. We're talking about AI content is there. So this is ongoing at the point. Now, when we are talking about in the future, where technology is going ahead, technology is entering into the pedagogy or the pedagogy of education. So administration, content, and now the pedagogy. When I say pedagogy, that means it is affecting the education psychology. We foresee like education, we foresee technology entering education in terms of personalization of education. Now, what does personalization of education means? Like say, for example, you go and visit a doctor, say both the parents go and visit doctor, they get their reports done. The father would be advised a set of medicine with one particular dimension or degree, say 40 milligrams, and the mother would be advised the same medicine with say 30 milligram or 20 milligram. Now both are being diagnosed, but the medicine is even if it is same, you have different degree. This is what is going to happen when technology is entering the pedagogy. So you have 30 students in the class, and the teacher is going to give say knowledge to all the 30 but it will be personalized. The knowledge delivery will be personalized. The assignments will be personalized. The assessment will be personalized. The days will be gone where results were declared at large. As of now, it is still declared at large, but results will be declared personally, and it will be compared with individual scales. Like in the last examinations, your score was this. In this examination, your score is this. So you have gained this much of knowledge or this much of mental development. Forget comparison and all. Comparison will be there only when it comes to admissions, like administrative examinations or admission tests. But otherwise, in a normal schooling time, it won't be compared. Comparison will be limited to individual cells. So, as per me, what I foresee technology in future, being a tech-savvy educator, is use of technology in education in terms of administration, in terms of content, and in terms of pedagogy. And it is going to be there. Believe me, whether one adapts to it or not, whether one accepts it or not, technology is going to grasp everything. The students are grasping faster than the faculties are, and students are picking up faster than the faculties are. AI is there. Who is not going to use AI in future for education, maybe their jobs will be at stake. So when it comes to personalization, we will have to make use of AI, because within 30 students, how am I going to individually go and give instructions? No, I'll have to make use of AI by terms of say giving them a questionnaire, and as per the grades the students achieving that questionnaire, the AI is going to give them the
1 minute more, sir. Sorry to do this dirty job. Just 1 minute more, sir.
Yeah, no, but yeah, so I'm almost done. So the three portions are, as I said, technology is going to affect education drastically. 3 points: administration, content, and pedagogy. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I feel little more elevated after listening to you, Dr. Saab. You are emphasizing on education. You are emphasizing on admin part of the technology. Content is pretty important. You also threw a lot of light on pedagogy, that no matter we'll be the beggars, and beggars are not choosers, whether we like it or we don't like it. I think the technology will be there. You had also laid a lot of significant to the AI as well, because technology ultimate will actually take over.
So
I
my
think
point was personalization in education. This is where we're going
yes,
to make use of technology. Yeah.
yes, sir. I was just coming to that. My apologies for that. Look here, now he gave a wonderful example of a doctor as well. But if I am allowed to add one thing, if we visit a doctor in today's scenario, because of the technology, we have had a lot of education because of Google Baba. We have also had a lot of information which we have collected from WhatsApp University. So instead of we taking the advice from the doctor, we start to give him the advice. Okay. So I think very well covered, sir. Thank you so much. With this, we are coming on to the second part. Total, there'll be, I think, 8 parts if we have the well-renowned speakers here. In what ways can technology help address the learning gaps and disparities in education? I invite Miss Aditi Misra, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Virmani, for the question. Um, as an educator, I think all of us learned to embrace technology once the pandemic began. Before that, I think it was just a fraction of teachers who were adept at technology and were using it to their benefit, to the students' benefit. But I think come 2020, and all of us embraced it because we had to remain relevant. So, in that context, I want to just talk about three aspects of technology addressing learning gaps. One is, of course, the outreach, because children in far off areas were able to be reached out to with the help of WhatsApp, with the help of Zoom, with the help of Google Suite or Microsoft Teams, and they were able to reach their classes in various ways, whether they were in any part of the world, as long as they had a device. We also had channels like Diksha and Swayam Prabha, where the government, the NCRT uploaded material. Some schools I know, I'm aware, put up worksheets, put up some videos to help children. The other advantage of tech, which I saw, which I still see, is that children are able to learn in an asynchronous way. If they don't want to study physics at 4 o'clock in the evening, for example, they have the information on a device through technology, and they can reach it at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whenever they feel like doing it. Because I think we all agree. Mr. Virmani hinted at the fact that our lives have become quite challenging, because I think it's been very difficult to get the children on track to what they were pre-pandemic. So I think in schools we divide our lives into pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. And the last thing which I think has benefited and helped children, break these learning gaps and address them, is the fact that children are able to review their work when it's online, because we think we've understood, but the moment you start doing a worksheet and you realize there is a gap somewhere, you have time to reach out to tech through a video, through some channel, to understand and to address your gap, so that there is no timeline as such, that you can only do it now and never again, because technology is available at their fingertips all the time. I hope I've stayed to my 3 minutes, and these are the 3 points which I thought were very important to address the issue of learning gaps among our students.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aditi Misra. You couldn't have been better than this. I fully agree with you when you talk of that it was blessing in disguise when the pandemic had really hit us. I think 50% of the education world had no idea about the technology, but if you were being pushed into it, and I think in the end we were also being termed as the fighters. We had also actually delivered what was expected out of us. Yes, the outreach is pretty important. There are certain tribal areas, maybe we had challenges of Wi-Fi connectivity, but everything was being looked in by the government. But these challenges were being accepted by the teachers, by the teaching fraternity head on. The CBSE also stepped in, like Diksha and Swam and all that, where a lot of material was being put in. You also highlighted the flexibility of the classes, and the children can all the time review whatever they have done, and they were actually free to contact the teachers and gather the information from them, have a debriefing of whatever session they have attended. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was lovely hearing you and your views. With this, let me now extend a very warm reception on the same to Dr. Anup Kumar, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Alok sir, and thank you Interact App for providing the platform, such types of this platform. Just I want to take the quotation from the Alok sir, that he told that you will involve, that I will be remembered for long. So here that we are talking about the gaps and the disparities. Obviously, that nowadays the technology plays the very important role to fill the gapping, to educate either the children or the elder, or there is no time, there is no age to learn, as it is mentioned in the books also. If you are talking about the technology in education line, so we are talking about the education technology. Okay, and that if we'll say that it is the combinations of the computing and the communication, then psychology, and then sociology and artificial intelligence. Nowadays, artificial intelligence are very important, become very important for the teachers and as well as the students also. The education technology really can help to close the education gaps and unlock the human capital. I want to be highlight this one. Education is really that education gaps and the unlock the human capital. So this is the things of now. Pandemic that we can say that before the 3 year 4 year back we are away from the technology, but what is that pandemic has teach us that how to utilize the technology in education. So now here that CBSE, that as we are the part of the CBSE, we are seeing CBSE has taken initiated a lot of the steps to provide the online education like Diksha, Nishtha, Swayam, MOOCs. These all are the tools to help us to fill the education gaps. Online learning also is that very relies on the essence of the technology. Like we have to say that laptop, and then we have to the internet. We have to use it. So the poorest nations are very that they were this proportionally affected during the lockdown times. What is that? We are lucky. Indians are lucky that we are adopted the technology. We have the facility of the internet. But what about the other countries that we are seeing that they are just really struggle a lot? And we have to say digital tools now the digital tools are become very important key for the teachers to make their classes are attractive as well as the offline classes, online classes, and through the distance mode classes. Okay, so now that I want to be highlight here that we want to be use the technology, but what he have to say, it is very useful to fill the gaps and the disparities among the this educator and the non-educator. Tools such as that we are using the just like a GPT. This is the now the familiar tools. Now it has become the familiar tools for the each and everyone. And what is that? It synthesize the information for us, but still it's still down to the learner to ensure that the information is received or processed in the right way or not. We have to say, and that we have to check it. Students will also need to judge whether the information is biased, ethical, or the contextually. As the such, school will probably they are going to be train their pupils to use like this tools as a responsibility. Okay, so here that we are seeing that technology are become very familiar for us, and it is really helpful for us to fill the gaps and then disparities in our society. All. So this is the thing. Just I want to bring it all that we have computing, we have the communication. If you are having the technology, we have the proper communication. We have to check the psychology of the students or the learner, as the ma'am says that it is the part it is the part of the learning, and I told you that there is no age of the learning and all. So in this way technologies are helping us nowadays to fill the gaps and unlock the human capital. Thank you Alok sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anup Kumarji. 5 levels of technology integration we all are aware of. Entry level, we are talking of adoption, adaptation,
Yeah.
infusion, and finally the transformation.
Yes.
You have signified on the role, vivid role that we were playing. Sometimes we even act as if we are having a music of rock and roll, where the principals and the management and our HODs were after our life and making our life really rock and roll, with a lot of pressure coming up from the parents as well. You also emphasized on unlocking of the character, CBSE initiative, and technology which makes us flexible, adaptability. And I think this adaptability is in our genes. Hence, the Indians were so successful when we resorted to these online teaching. Thank you so much. You also emphasized on 3 C's. You were talking of commuting, communication, and also psychology. Don't get my spelling wrong. I know how the psychology start, but just to rhyme well, so I said it was 3C. Thank you ever so much, sir. importance of technology and highlighting the technology, how I take it, there are two aspects of life, either the road or the road roller. So choice is yours. If you want to be part of a road, you stay there. And if you want to hop onto the road roller, you'll move ahead. And that's what technology has been doing. Thank you ever so much. Let's go on to the third phase of today's session. How will emerging technologies like virtual reality and artificial intelligence revolutionize the way students learn and engage with educational content? I'm requesting Ma'am Ruchi Gupta.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Virmani, for the question. I think the question is very interesting and as well as relevant. So, when we talk about the integration of technology in the classrooms, I think a lot of us are doing it already, and it is making a lot of sense in the classrooms. For example, they say that a picture speaks worth 1,000 words. This is exactly what technology is doing with for us. So initially in the traditional education system, what we were doing is we were reading it from the books and try to visualize or imagine what we are reading or studying and how it would look like. So I think with the advent of VR or AI, we can now actually see it happening in front of us and experiencing it. I think a lot of us are also talking about the experiential learning these days. So AI and VR are helping us in achieving that. For example, we can talk about in maths, we can talk about a lot of games that's available due to the AI and VR, where children can learn the mathematical concepts through the gaming. And I'm sure everybody, all of us knows that in today's generation, the concentration span of these students are very limited. So if we really do the traditional kind of a thing where we are just teaching through the books and chalk and board, it becomes difficult for us to retain their concentration. But the moment we make it a little more interesting and we make it a part of the games or the visual aids are added, then we are definitely being able to retain their concentration a little more. So in maths, if we are doing some games, so I'm sure they'll learn a little more, a faster way. For example, in science, we have the virtual labs available, where before going into the actual chemistry or science or physics or biology labs, we can do the experiments online and we can see how it is going to function, what is going to happen. And like everybody has mentioned, that during the pandemic we have learned these. So a lot of the experienced through the virtual labs without going to these schools. So I think this is really, really relevant. When it comes to social science, we can actually take our students on a world tour. I know a lot of schools who are doing this. So they send invites to the parents that we are taking students on the world tour, where they take them to the different countries without actually not moving from their seat. And they actually have a very good experiences. They learn a lot. Our children have become global citizens with the advent of technology, with the advent of AI and VR, where we are interacting globally with different students of different countries and learning from their experiences, learning from what they are experiencing or what their knowledge is about their countries, and children are sharing it through AI or VR, which is, I think, a very, very good thing to happen. So children are sitting in their classrooms or in their houses, they are becoming the global citizens. So our children are definitely going to be at par with the children of any other nation. So that is again how the AI and VR is helping us in the classrooms. Then if we come to the how the teachers are being benefited by it, this is the student part of it. For example, there are a lot of apps or ERPs available where there's a lot of data analysis is happening. So with a click of a tab or a key, you can basically analyze the student performance and their behavior and their learning trends within the minutes. And then a teacher can make an informed decision that how I need to progress with the student. So the learning and the teaching both has become very personalized, which is, I think, a very, very good thing to do. One of the most important things that I feel personally that AI or VR has benefited us is that all these students, especially the students with the special needs, are also now at par with the other students. So with the advent of AI and VR, their learning has also become a lot better. There are a lot of tools available for such students also, where they can learn a little faster and they can be at pace with the other students. I think that's a beautiful thing that AI or VR has given us. And I think there are humongous lot of other examples. Then I can definitely add, but I know I have a little time limitation of 3 to 4 minutes. So I think while concluding all this, I really want to say that AI and VR has definitely revolutionized the education rooms, because they have given our students a lot of experiential learning. Instead of just listening or hearing what has been taught to them, now they are experiencing it. Now they can feel it, see it, and with this experience, they can learn it a little better, a little faster. And of course, it helps them to become a better global citizen and a better human being. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. There is no dearth of knowledge among us, but we can't help it to keep it to 3 to 4 minutes. Speech synthesizer is one technology for the visually impaired, and the screen reader is the another one which they actually help of. With the VR, we do not have to leave the places. And yes, ma'am, you very rightly spoke about to shifting from the traditional way, from the rote learning, and to have a larger and a bigger span of concentration, art integration, and activity based should be part of us. What cinemas are all about. We always remember the movie that we have watched. I'm sure you all must have seen Sam Bahadur Manekshaw. If not, please go and you must watch that movie. So that's a virtual reality world, and we are also bringing everyone at par to it. Seven wonders of the world can be watched. We can actually see how the heart pumps, how the car engine functions. There is no dependence on now the textbooks and all that, how the food and the water rushes from the roots to the shoots and all that. So I think the virtual reality and the artificial intelligence is the talk of the town, and good for the future generation to actually take over. With this, allow me to move further. The fourth phase. What role will online learning platforms and digital resources play in shaping the future of education? And what are the potential implications? I'm requesting Mr. Manohar Pandesarji. Yes, sir. Sir, you are not audible to me. I don't know about others. Mr. Manohar Pandey ji, you are. Please unmute yourself, sir. Yes, sir. You need to unmute. Yes, now you have unmuted. You are still not audible to me. I don't know.
It's not audible.
Yeah.
Alok, sir, I think so. We can go move on to the next question because sir has left the
Okay.
meeting. Yes.
Acha, okay, fine. So, sir is back, but he is not audible. Sir, you are not audible. Mr. Pandeyji, you are not audible. We'll come back to you in a little while. Let me go to Miss Dipti, ma'am. How will educators need to adapt their teaching methods and strategies to effectively integrate technology into the learning process? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Virmani, for this question. And I was thinking I was going to be at the end of the session and everybody would have already said what I wanted to say. So I'm glad that I've come in between. As an educator, I have always believed that the teacher is the fulcrum around which the education system revolves. And I still say that with a lot of conviction. There is a magic that happens between a teacher and a student. And till COVID hit us so hard, we actually thought that that best way to be happened that finally, when COVID struggling to find ways and means to reach out to our little ones, our students. So I think we have learned a lot of lessons from the COVID, which I do here. A few things which I can say is gone are the days of chalk and talk. In fact, I've come across two very, very interesting. In the past, we sages of the stage, and today we have guides from the side. I think that is so very important because earlier we had lecturers and we had children who were captive audiences. Today we have facilitators, guides, mentors, and people who are willing to lead children along the way, not only through their voices, but also with all the aids that they have at hand. Aids, of course, like PowerPoint presentations, audio, video, everything that has been mentioned. A traditional teacher stops at a spot where she requires the aid of technology. A wise teacher takes that aid, walks along with it, and makes it her own. During the pandemic, I remember we had teachers who found it pretty difficult to actually get out there, stand in front of a virtual students. You had grandfathers and grandmothers sitting there. In fact, I had teachers saying, "Ma'am, we have grandfathers sitting in the class, and that's all very well, but unfortunately, they end up, answering all the questions." So that was a very funny situation. But yes, teachers, they got confidence from those interactions, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of hard work, a lot of fun. And I think that is when we realized that we talk about integration of subjects. A subject is never taught in isolation. You have the same topic that can be taught along the way through different subjects. I think it was during COVID we realized that, because we had so much of technology, so much of information at our fingertips, that really helped us. We could find, and what did teachers do? They split the chaff from the grain. There is so much of information out there, quite a bit in the dark web, and dangerous information. Stood their ground, needed to know what was relevant, what actually made the subject fascinating. That was very, very important. And finally, despite everything, what is it that education is all about? Not just academics. It's also about the holistic view, where a child is emotionally, socially, and intellectually made to progress. I think that is something that, again, technology has taught us. Because how? A teacher's knowledge is limited, but the internet has unlimited knowledge. Put the two together and you have magic. In fact, I would like to say one last thing and stop, that we use something called flipped classrooms, where we got the children to go in and explore the world outside. They went in and they helped us to explore what was there in their worlds. This lesson, I used to teach a lesson some time ago in class 9. It was called The Fun They Had by Isaac Asimov, where computers rule the world. And those people said the fun they had. And the children of the future, they're talking about the fun that the children in traditional education had with friends and teachers and learning and playgrounds and everything wonderful. Finally, the only thing that the child said is, but at least they might have had fun. But today, we can turn our teachers off. I rest my case.
Thank you so much, ma'am. With due regard to you, ma'am, the desert always comes in end, so don't feel bad about it, even if you were a last speaker. And you really played magic with your words. Chalk and talk, we learned from you, from sages to stage, from a guide to the site we were talking of. You also highlighted teacher playing a different kinds of role now, being a facilitator, being a guide, being a mentor. Yes, the technology made us superstar or YouTube stars overnight because of this pandemic. I need to talk about three things about this technology. Is technology is very dangerous. Two, technology is valuable. Three, technology is picking up. So we do not have any other option. We know it's dangerous. We know it's very valuable and it's picking up, but we need to be extra cautious here with the technology. And of course, we can do it collectively. We can do it. Teaching fraternity has done it and they'll further do it. Thank you ever so much, ma'am. I'm coming to the another part, and I'll be requesting Miss Preeti Sharma, ma'am. What impact will the increasing reliance on technology have on traditional educational models and systems, such as textbooks, standardized testing, and teacher-student dynamics?
Good evening,
Over to you,
everyone.
ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. The increasing reliance on technology will have a significant impact on the traditional educational models and system. The traditional printed textbooks may become less prevalent as the online resources and digital platform provides more up-to-date content, which could be easily assessed, downloaded, and retained on various devices, thus making the learning experience more dynamic. Coming up to this point, like how it is, how it will be able to change the standardized testing pattern. Technology has all the potential to change, to transform the standardized testing pattern, as the online assessment provides immediate feedback, adaptive testing, and data-driven insight into the student performances, which the teachers can go through and can work upon individually and can help the children to work better in the next exams and next coming up tests, whichever they are going to appear on. And this will be more aligned with the student individual learning needs of the students. Then technology can alter the dynamics between the teachers and the students also, because teachers can use this online tools to make their lessons more interactive in the classroom, and they can also provide the this personalized feedback to the students, that what they are doing, how they are doing, and they can also do the monitor the progress of the students in the class with the help of this technology, this testing pattern and this change. In this way, the teachers will act like facilitators and guides instead of just the knowledge providers, I suppose. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You are yet again one of those speakers who have been so brief and to the point. You actually hit the chord, ma'am. That's pretty right said. Yes, Atal Tinkering Labs have come up, clubbing of few schools under the aegis of Sahodaya is coming up. Then certain schools have also been asked to adopt various schools. You know, so they're playing a very important role. A technology like learning kid is pretty good, but if they are shifted towards TikTok and Netflix, then the technology, of course, is not good. You were talking of information and knowledge. Yes, the world is full of information, but in case we need to look into the dynamics, we need to look at the interests of the student and the teachers. We need to also not compromise on the knowledge part. Information, there is no dearth of information, but knowledge is also pretty important. The initial surgery, when we have never ever heard of technology as such, which has now been surfacing, I would like to take you to 700 BC, 800 BC, to the father of Indian surgery, Shushrutu. He did the first surgery and he was the father when we have not heard of technology. So I think the technology was there. Everything did exist, but we have not yet identified it. And now the time has come where we have started to identify it. You know, we had, magic data, ma'am, you were talking of adaptive environment you spoke of. It will become interesting. It will involve the students. We can have activity based and we can continuously monitor them. With this, we are coming to the seventh part, and this I'll keep it open for all of you. I'm sure in this lovely and warm evening, you have not left us, though you have muted yourself, but you're still around because your cameras are off. I'm sure you are around and keeping us happening and very active. We are coming on to the seventh part, and let's have an open discussion if the Miss Nandini allows us to go ahead. We're waiting for your permission, ma'am.
Sure, Alok sir, but can you please ask the question for Manohar sir, please? I think so. His mic is better now.
Okay, Mr. Manohar, I can't hear Mr.
Oh, sir,
Manohar.
your
Mr.
voice is
Manohar
not
Pandey
audible.
ji. Mr. Manohar, we can see that lovely smile on your face, but we are missing your audio.
Sir, try speaking without the earphones if you can.
Maybe there is some selection over the phone, Wi-Fi or otherwise. Maybe you have to click on that Wi-Fi. Never mind, Mr. Pandey. I also remember my first session where it was one-way audio. So they could hear me, but I could not hear them. So I just blasted. So I just give a little more time to Manohar. I'm jumping on to the seventh one. Please lend me your ears. I'm just repeating the words of Shakespeare. What impact will the increasing... Ma'am, am I taking the right question? Or what role will online learning, I'll take the different one. What ethical consideration should be taken into account as technology becomes more pervasive in the education sector? And how can potential risk be mitigated while maximizing the benefit? Yeah, may I request, so who is coming in to enlighten us?
Shall I come in?
Yes, ma'am, please. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. So I think in terms of ethics, if I bring in some health issues, I think too much of tech will definitely impact the health of children in various ways. It is known that in front of a screen, a child's eyes are more strained. We are hearing of more and more children with dry eyes. There is definitely the impact on the health in terms of movement. Children are becoming obese. All of us who are principals will agree that today, when a child falls down, they straight away get a fracture. There are no more bruises, there are no more band-aids. वो सीधे plaster चढ़ता है. These are all the negative impacts, I think, of overuse of technology. Now, what is the right use? This is a huge debate which needs to be answered, that how much is too much? Should it be 2 hours? Should it be 3 hours? So I think it's an ongoing debate, and there can be no one right answer. It has to be child dependent. It has to be subject dependent. It has to be space dependent. However, I think we must use technology with extreme caution, because the human element is extremely important in things like education, in things like medical care. I would not like to be seen by a robot ever. I would always want to be checked by a human doctor. So in that sense, I think teachers should use technology, but not overuse this. That's my take. I could be wrong, but that's where I come from after almost 4 decades of being with school education. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Virmani.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for having your views and you on the panel itself. There is one formula also which has been worked on. You are very right. It all depends upon the adaptability of a child, the health of a child. It also depends upon the circumstances and all that. So, how much time is the good screen time? But there's a formula which has been worked out, 20 20 20. That basically means 20 minutes of screen time, and then give a break of at least 20 seconds. And please further look at a distance of 20 feet if you want to actually relax your side, relax your eyes. Fine. Very well spoken, ma'am. May I request other eminent speakers who is coming in? Yes, ma'am, Dipti, please.
I think when we had online classes, we faced a real danger because we suddenly found that the strangers would just come into the class and ask all kinds of irritating questions, sometimes even abusive questions, and we would wonder how is it possible? You have passwords, they are protected. The teacher is looking at every child and having attendance and all that, and yet how did the strangers manage to come in? Obviously, our children are not aware of the term stranger danger. I think what they used to do was they would share their password with maybe friends or adults, and those people would come in, and it took us quite a while to home in on the actual problem. And we would go on telling our children, please do not open yourselves up to this danger. And there are a lot of predators online. I think the biggest problem of technology is the fact that the children can be abused online, and that is a horrific space to be in. So I think all educators, finally, what we did was we were very strict about passwords. We kept changing passwords for every day we would change the password so that nobody would come in and do this. I think we as educators, we need to keep our children safe. And you talk about abuse in every other form. You have sexual abuse, you have harassment, you have abusive behavior. But when it turns online, it is all the more dangerous because people can just share whatever information they have on you, and people can misuse it. I think as educators, that is one thing we need to be really very careful about. And that is a matter of ethics. I don't know how we can do it. Yes, we did, say we did say we call the cyber police in and all that, but that was merely a kind of a threat. It did work, but we need to have more safety measures in place.
Ma'am, this was the reason why the cyber cell actually came into being, and they've been so active. And of course, the technology abuse and the net abuse is there. We have to be cautious with it. Like when the dynamite was invented, it was used for construction, for building up also, and it was used for destruction as well. So it all depends. If the right thing is in the right hand, it will never ever be misused. But of course, if there is a early fresh morning, then there's a night dark as well. But it all depends, I think, on us. May I have someone else who is coming in on the same question, or should I raise another one? We are left with one question. Yes, yes, ma'am, Ruchi, please.
Yeah, I think when we are talking about the abuse of technology or the ethic part of it, I think a lot of it is happening on the social media also. So a lot of us having problems where children create different groups on Instagram or Facebook with anonymous names, and they share bad stuff about anybody and everybody, including their own colleagues and classmates, teachers, everybody. But I think and they the best part is what they can do here is they can block us, so there's no way we can get inside and stop them. So I think see, we need to agree that of course these children are smart, and we have made them smarter. We have given these tools in their hands, but then they need to remember that we are their parents and their teachers. So we know, of course I don't say that we really know, but yeah, I think ethic part of it comes from where I say that a lot of awareness needs to be created. So that is the only thing I think we can do. Of course, we can do a lot of checks. We can uh, teach them how to use the technology in the right manner. But I think awareness on the daily basis in the classrooms will definitely help. I'm not saying you can change all, but it's a start. Even if you start with changing few, then those few can change a little more people, and then the thing will go on. So I think awareness, cyber awareness about the cyber safety, pros and cons, hits and misses, that's I think very important. If that happens on the regular basis, I'm sure it's gonna have an impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very rightly said, ma'am. Technology is basically not a matter of choice. I must have said this earlier as well, it's our responsibility, and it's a very important responsibility. We can't call it it's good or bad, but it's a responsibility which we need to carry. Are we left with any other question? Is Miss Nandini around? Do we need to take a question?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So, I would like to thank NTAP. I would like to thank Nandini and the entire team. Sincere gratitude to each and every and I'm sure we all went out of it. I have enriched myself and I had a lovely time listening to all of you. Thank you ever so much. God bless you. Have a lovely evening ahead. Ma'am, Nandini, over to you.
Thank you so much, Alok sir, and also thank you so much to all the educators for imparting your knowledge and experience to the topic. I'm very grateful today that you have joined this panel discussion. Thank you so much once again. And here we come to the end of the session. So I, Nandini Upadhyay, sign off. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you,
Thanks a
everyone.
lot.
Thank you, Alok.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Nice meeting everyone.
Bye.
Nice meeting everyone. Thank you, Mr. Virmani.